Yeah. There we are. We're live.
That we are. All right. So, welcome to ATAS, episode 6, Across Time and Space. Coming to you from Cross X Culture. You know, it's your boy Ace. We got who over there in the corner? Who right there? Who right there?
TPC Japan leading the way. It's your boy TPC Japan back with another episode. ATAS for the shatas. Not playing. Hey, across time and space. It's beautiful.
So we're across time and space. It is what? The evening for me, and it's the afternoon for you in Japan.
As always,
we're broadcasting from both California and Japan at the same time. No, I'm not going to try to pretend like I know where you are now, because all I have in my head is Higashi Funabashi, but I know that's not it. I know.
That's not the case. It's close. It's close. Because, you know, Higashi Funabashi's east of Funabashi. Funabashi City is in Chiba Prefecture, and I'm still in Chiba Prefecture. Now I live in Chiba City. All right. It's Chiba City. But a lot of folks that come to Japan and see live shows, they've heard of Makuhari Messe. This is Makuhari
Messe.
Yeah, Makuhari Messe. It's the biggest live hall in Tokyo. The greater Tokyo area. The largest east of Tokyo. Yeah, you got the Superdome. You got Tokyo Superdome. Yokohama, like the international center over there. But then on Chiba, the Chiba side, it's Makuhari Messe. So Bon Jovi, Michael Jackson, all these guys.
Okay. They all perform there.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Down the road.
All right. Down the road. Yeah. Down the street and around the corner, as we used to say.
Yes, sir.
All right. So time to drop some bombs. Drop some bombs on them. We're now live on Spotify. We're out here. We're on Spotify or Anchor. You can catch us. Link is in the description below. We only got the first episode up. I'm still experiencing some technical limitations, but we're gonna get the rest of those episodes up so you can catch up with us. Gonna try to get every episode up, fingers crossed, by this weekend, so you can just catch up. You can go from episodes 1 straight through 6, and then be with us when TPC does next week's live broadcast. And you can catch us on YouTube over at his channel, so that you can actually interact with us. Maybe you want to put a little something in the chat. We'll see it. We'll answer. Maybe even put it up on the screen. If we don't think it's the government, we're not going to put you out there like that.
Oh, that's beautiful. Right? That's beautiful. Yeah. I know fans have been like asking, where are you guys stationed at? How can I find you? Spotify. Yeah, it's on your phone already, whether you installed it or not. All right. And we in there. We in there. That's beautiful. There's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes with these online like podcasts and YouTube and all that stuff that, the audience, the true fans will understand that because they're with you 100% all along the way. But most folks, they just want to enjoy the show. They don't want to know what goes on behind the scenes. And, just let you know that we love you and we're getting things done so that you can enjoy it. All right.
All right. So for those of you who don't know, we're reading through A Beautiful Struggle by Ta-Nehisi Coates. This will be primarily discussing chapter 6. We may go a little bit backwards. TPC may bring us forwards in time because, he's already in the future compared to me. But there's only 3 chapters after this one. This book is so juicy. It's bringing up all types of feels, especially with the Black experience in America growing up. And it is just, it's a little bit more than I bargained for. I'll say that much, both in a good and bad way. But definitely, I'm enjoying the book. Gotta say that. And it was TPC Japan who put us on, or well, he put me on because he already read it.
Right. The thing is, I listened. Well, it's the audiobook that we're going with this time. It could be a physical book. It's all the words are the same, but an important thing about the audio is, how it affects you, in your day to day. If you're sitting there reading a normal physical book, you usually have to sit down somewhere, whereas with an audiobook, it's like someone's talking in your ears, speaking that knowledge, as they would say in the book. Speaking that knowledge to you as you're doing things, as you're in motion. And, when you think about it again and start to reflect on it, what were you doing at the time when you heard that, when you heard Ta-Nehisi talking about his past, and, how did that affect you? Did you start thinking about your own past? And yeah, there are a lot of like parallels, that, he experienced, I experienced, I'm an ACE over here experience. And, everyone doesn't experience the same exact things, but, we're moving through time and space. We're moving forward. The arrow of, time passes forward. And as you're going through this thing, you do see some similarities, there's an interesting poem called The Egg that kind of talks about this point that, perhaps the whole reason for our existence, the whole reason why we've been placed here is so that we can become like God, through all of these experiences that we have. Every lifetime that, people go through, everything that people go through in their lifetime, let's say it like that, is to help you understand the width and the breadth and the depth of his knowledge, and his love. And, things that you go through, trials and tribulations that help you to understand even deeper, how much God loves us, type of thing. Everything, all of the pain, all of the happiness, when things go right and you realize that you're in his embrace. And I know I'm just going deep and freestyling right here, but
no, because it really does remind me of Jesus' words. And, some people might hear what you're saying and be like, oh, that's blasphemy. We can't become like God, but Christ said it, in Sermon on the Mount. He says that God makes the rain to fall on the just and the wicked. So be perfect as your Father is in heaven. It's not so much to say that, oh, we can't become like him, but it is through Christ who is our model of what to do, how to do, that we can become like God because we are redeemed through his blood.
I mean, hit the plan, right? Let us make man in our image. Let us make man in the image of God, and he breathed his breath right into what he made.
Yeah.
And we screwed it up. But, Jesus brought us back to that, that through him, now, you can fix us from the inside out. Right. So, yeah, I have no problem with being called the child of God. All right. And that means, hey, I can sign it and deliver it as long as I'm in alignment. Right.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, yes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So
we have one active listener on right now. See, I think we got a comment too. Okay.
Oh, there we go.
All right.
There we go.
He's spitting some knowledge over here. I'm not going to put his name on the online so that everybody could see it. But yeah, this listener saying in the likeness of him, for he is the I am. And a lot of people have a little bit of difficulty with that, the I am. He's the Alpha, the Omega, because before the beginning, he was the beginning. And that is something that we have to realize, because we have to endeavor to be, or well, we don't have to endeavor. I'm not telling you what to do with your life, but we endeavor to be like this perfect being, and we will fall short. But it is only through Christ's sacrifice that we can even be seen as worthy.
Right. 100%. I feel that there's a push towards that now, though, for being the best version of yourself. All right.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you hear it. Like people are thirsty in the secular world for that, right? All this self-improvement and
Mm-hmm.
mindfulness. Everything is you're trying to become the best version of yourself, but you need to get in alignment. Like
Yeah.
at the end of the day, you're gonna feel this lack. It's like, why am I not there yet? Or when I fall short, where am I? And you need
Mm.
to be in that embrace of the Most High. Hey,
I
that's
mean,
all I got to say.
Matthew 6:33. Seek ye first
Woo!
the kingdom of God and all His righteousness, and all these things will be
Will
added
be
unto
added
you.
unto you.
As long as you got that center, that's
Mm.
like you said, you got to be in alignment. Your first priority, boom, and then everything else will be added.
Yeah. It's funny. It's funny. You mess up that alignment. No, I'm trying. I'm trying to let you get back to that book, but I have to say this. I have to say this because we were talking about. I was playing Sudoku with my mom, right? I was playing Sudoku with my mom, and it's funny because she didn't understand how to play it. She's, those of you who don't know,
wow.
my mother is currently in the hospital, getting some treatment done, getting back on track, and
Yeah.
she was. We were talking this morning, and we're used to doing radio taiso, which is what you'd see on my channel over at TPC Japan. Yes, it's all about radio taiso, getting in shape, doing the daily grind. All right, but she can't do the daily grind right now. I did it. All right, but I came back home. I give her a call. I said, "Hey, mom, what's going on?" And she's getting her treatment at the hospital. And I said, "All right, well, you can't do radio taiso." I'm thinking, so what's going on with Sudoku? I know you like those phone games. Oh, son, I don't have any phone games on my phone. Okay, well, we ought to play. All right. So I shared the screen, and I said, "Do you know Sudoku?" I was about to explain it to her. I said, "Do you know Sudoku?" And she's like, "It's a number game, right?" And I was like, "Yeah." Do you know how it works? No, it's too complicated. You mean too complicated? What do you?
Oh.
Go ahead, tell me the rules. It's the simplest game in the world. It's just 9. All you got to do is get the numbers 1 through 9 in the same line, same row, same box. But you got to make sure, and as I said, like
There's no repeats.
there's no repeats. You need to,
Yeah.
all right, you need to check this line. You need to check that line. You need to make sure those coordinates are lined up correctly. Otherwise, if you start making guesses and you say, I'm just going to go do what I'm going to do, and I think it's a 4. I think it's a 4. And you just plop that 4 in there, and then you start going through the whole game. You realize, there's another space where that 4 is supposed to be. So now I got 2 4s in the same box. And I messed up somewhere, and you start trying to erase, and you can't erase. You can't. You just want a new game. All right. It's such a pain, especially on paper. All right. If it's on the, if you got one of these, I've been there before. All right. Yeah. Not playing around. Like, if you mess up one time, try to erase all that. You can get rid of it, but the page becomes thin, and that's a lot. That's an analogy to life too. All right. If you stay in alignment and just follow the rules that God set in place for your life, you're gonna find at the end of the day a lot of satisfaction from that. But if you start, going this way and going that way and feeling, I'm running things now because I'm putting the numbers in, wait a minute, that number is not supposed to be there. Right? What is her number? What where's this coming from? What this bill?
Look.
What's this bill about? I'm about to call somebody up.
It remind me of what was said in chapter 6. Ta-Nehisi's basically going into a fight, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm high on the smell of myself."
Yeah,
man. Like when you feeling yourself that much, like, oh, I smell good, and it's like all that's coming off is arrogance. It's like, come on, man, come on.
But the thing is, like, old heads say that. They usually don't say it in reference to themselves, but what's going on with little Jamal right here? Nah, he over here smelling himself, or he over here feeling himself.
He's smelling himself.
Yeah. Like I'm on top of things. Nah, that's exactly pride before the fall. Go ahead.
Oh, well, come on, somebody.
Go ahead.
We ain't trying to preach right now. We ain't trying to preach. All right, so although these chapters are very juicy, I try to get, like maybe a good 4 main topics. And this one was a little bit hard because the bulk of the chapter was just this first point. But it was talking about rites of passage.
There it is. Spot on.
The rite of passage. I feel like the whole overarching theme of this whole chapter was just getting out of that awkward adolescence phase and finding what's important to you. What was it? He was Ta-Nehisi's with the, I can't remember what it's called, like the little,
it feels like a youth organization, right?
Yeah, like yeah. I don't really know what to call it, but it's, I always say, like, Mother Africa again or something. It was like something
brotherhood type thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and they he said that he was up with his friend playing Super Nintendo, in the wee hours of the morning. We've been there.
Definitely been there.
We've been up to 6 o'clock in the morning. Have to wake up for 8 o'clock service just so we can come back and play video games, man.
Hey, you didn't have to be playing the games. You didn't have to be playing the games. You could be calling off characters from the games. I got all 150. All right, let's go. That's why you got to stay awake all night calling up characters of the video games. Yes, because that's what it was.
Ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. So I mean, he's with his friend. They're playing Super Nintendo to the early morning. They go to sleep. One of the instructors comes in and says, "Wake up, right? Get your clothes on and be over here." He drives him out to the middle of nowhere. He gets back in the car and says, "Find your way back by dawn."
Yeah.
Leaves. Like, and sometimes that's what the rite of passage feels like, Like, I've raised to this point. I've been raised, and now I'm told to go out by myself. Sink or swim.
Oh yeah. This is an archetype. You see it in so many different writings, so many different, hero stories. Basically, you're just thrown out there on your own. They throw you off the cliff, and if you get back up, then you're go ahead, Mufasa, or what? Scar flung Simba off the cliff, right?
Simba off the cliff, yeah.
He was his uncle, not his father, that threw him off. It was his uncle, and but that experience, all that growth that he went through there, before returning home to become the king, like that. His father or his uncle Scar did teach him something. He just seems like angry Uncle Scar, but that's the same story we see in Fist of the North Star. That's the same story we see in Dragon Ball Z, where not Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball, where it was just Krillin and Gohan, or not Gohan, Goku. Master Roshi threw him off a cliff.
Literally.
Yes, literally threw him off a cliff. Like, yeah, that was a typical rite of passage. And my thing is that we don't see that so much now in our culture. We don't see rites of passages at least around 12 years old. Not like a specific thing in the Black culture, and to say this is you moving from childhood into young adulthood. So that this, if we had that type of rite of passage, then ages 13 through 18, 13 and 19, that hardcore, like learning and identifying like what you're going to be, the type of man you're going to be for the rest of your life, that period would be a lot clearer because you're not doing childish things anymore. I think that we, kind of get stuck in kind of childish behavior around 15, 16, 17, where, you're chasing after the wrong things and you don't realize that you're like, you need to grow up. Like you're almost at 20, and rites of passage, by and large, and I don't mean to just hijack this thing, but every 12 years, it's either 8 years or 12 years, but I'm gonna say 12. There's a rite of passage. So at 12, you're not like a little kid anymore. Your body is changing. You need to grow into that. All right. Some cultures, I think like the bar mitzvah for the Jewish is 13, right?
13. Yep.
Yeah. Just you're seen as a man. You know, like you were a boy before that. Now you're a man. You know, las sesenta or something for females. What is it?
La quinceañera.
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 I wasn't gonna be able to say that. Thank you so much. Right? How old is that?
That's 15.
15, right?
Yeah.
For the young ladies, right? You know, so there is something there, but for our culture, I don't see that like specific thing. I know we had, what is it? Not Jumanji. What is that? Not Jumanji. What is that?
Jumanji, my God.
No, the youth retreat where they were like Kuji Jakalia and all that good stuff. What were they doing?
I don't know because I didn't go.
You didn't go. There was a retreat. There was a retreat that was held. It was through our church, this Catholic church. But we're bringing in, you know, some like African past, right? They were teaching us words and all this kumbaya and all this stuff. And, you know, I mean, when I read or listened to Ta-Nehisi's experience there, I was like, oh, that kind of reminds me of that. Like we went on a retreat. There were young people there. They were trying to teach us something. We had to get in front of a crowd. Marvin and Marlon, like these cats will tell you about, you know, the speech that they had to give. And you know, we remember that stuff to this day, because you know, you put on the spot.
Sure it wasn't just a Kwanzaa celebration?
No, it was a little more. It was a little more than that. Yeah. But it was short. It was very brief, you know, and I would have liked something more, or I feel like, you know, if I become a parent and you know, my son is reaching that age or my daughter's reaching that age, that I would want them to experience that type of thing, especially a son. 24, you know, is the second one. You're not in really like learning mode anymore. Before. Now you're moving into careerhood, all right? Where as a man, you got to build your frame. You got to build your framework from 24 right up to about 36. Once you reach 36, you might as well make your family. You can, you know, you have the pick of the litter. You're the most attractive. You probably got a car, ready to buy a house. You're ready to, you know, make your family. You ready to lock it down, you know. At around 48, you're at the height of your career, right? You have almost 50 years on this earth and a lot of experience there. You're a father figure. You may not actually have your own kids, but you've become that manager at the workplace. Like you're looking out for the younger people or the older people around your same age, even looking out for near retirees, and you're learning from them and they're ready to teach you. But that's around 48. All right. 47, 48, 49. 12 years later, you're about ready to retire and move into that next phase in life. And, you know, I'm not going to talk through the whole thing, but, you know, there's certain rituals that help you get through that. Certain rituals that each culture kind of has built into it, you know, in order to get this far through thousands of years of, you know, whatever, like we have these cultural things that help make a man, make a boy, or help make a boy into a baby into a boy, and a boy into a man, into a father, you know, a father into, you know, a leader, you know, a king, as it were, and a king into an elder. So, yeah. I was jealous of his experience.
So I mean, one of the things that does come up in the chapter, I've never really had this happen to me until I never really felt it until I came here. And I live around a lot of shorter people to where they were telling me, "Oh, you're so tall, you're so tall." I'm 5'10". I'm average. These people are like, "Oh my goodness, you're so tall, you're so tall." And like my voice isn't all that deep, you know. I'm not a hulking man, you know. I don't really throw my weight around. But one of the things that Ta-Nehisi's father said to him after an altercation with one of his teachers, like he brushed into his teacher, and his teacher was like, "Oh, assault, assault, assault." He told him, "You need to mind what you're doing." Like, and that's
Mm.
To me, it feels like he's saying, because he said that. He said you need to mind what you're doing. But what I heard is you need to know how to be black.
Mm.
And it's not just a sense
Mm.
of like, oh yeah, I need the knowledge and this and that, know how to flow, know
Mm.
how to freestyle, get the bars. It's knowing how to not have such a big presence. And it stinks that a lot of
Mm.
our people have fallen because they're seen as something else that they're not. They're
Mm.
seen as dangerous. They're seen as hulking. They're seen as, if they, then everybody's, oh my goodness, don't hurt us. It's like, yo, I can't have emotions. That
Mm.
type of thing. It's like, yo, be mindful of who you are.
Mm.
Because now who you are,
Mm.
you need to make sure that you're not impeding on them. It's like, man,
Mm.
it sucks. I mean,
Mm.
part of my language, but yeah, it's to
Mm.
that because it's
Mm.
not that we are dangerous.
Mm.
We are just different, but we are often seen as dangerous just
Mm.
because of mannerism, skin tone, and things of that nature.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
We have
It's
our listener here saying moderation is a virtue.
mhm.
Yeah,
What
all things in moderation.
it's a virtue that I feel like we need to be more cognizant of than some of our brothers of a different color, or a different melanin complexion.
Mm-hmm.
It's um, yeah, there is something that we have to be mindful of. And I remember, just you just saying that, it reminded me of when I was a university student. That was the first time I heard someone mention angry black men.
Mm.
And I didn't know what it meant. I was like, people are going to look at you like you're an angry black man. And it wasn't in reference to me, but it was in reference to my friend who, subsequently, like, he had too much to drink and he pulled out one of my locks. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to look at you as an
What?
angry. Yeah.
Don't
I mean,
take
it
my
was a
locks.
big fight. But yeah, angry black men is something that, like, I'm pretty sure we kind of second guess ourselves about at some point. Like, all right, if I show too much emotion here, what's gonna happen?
Yeah.
It's funny. Like, I had an older guy, my homestay dad, say that I was an animal, and I was at a
Animal.
an animal, and I needed to become a man, and if I listen and am consistent and responsible and do the right thing, then I'll be, good. But if
Mm-hmm.
I don't, and I give in to the allure of, not accepting that responsibility, not accepting that I need to carry this cross, and just do as I feel whenever I feel that way, then I can live. I'm allowed to live, but I'm living like an animal, not like a gentleman, or not like, more than the sum of my parts. Yeah. I mean, I think we're viewed as having this higher level of physical prowess, and I mean, there's a lot of like painful underpinnings there. Like,
Oh yeah.
like the whole like slavery thing, like. Like, what? Oh, you must, like, I'm another human being just like you, but you see me as like this physical source of power there, and you just want to control that.
Labor.
Yeah, just I'm gonna use you for labor. And
Man.
to be viewed that way for so long, it's not, of course, at this time there's no slavery, but to be seen as just a physical, like, machine, like less than a man, um something that we want
Just
to.
something to be exploited.
Right.
Yeah.
Like that. I mean, it's a way that men are built anyway, to be able to take on physical tasks more, but you can find yourself getting into this Mark Henryism where you work yourself to the bone. We talked about Mark Henry. Yeah, I mean, he beat the machine, right? As far as like digging his way through the whole mountain. Like he did better than the drill, during the Industrial Revolution, and he pulled it off. He showed that man is better than machine, and then he died.
Dropped dead. Yeah,
right there. That's it.
On the spot.
So yeah, I mean, you can work yourself to the bone, or you can, or work your mind to the bone, and it's all of our responsibilities. I don't care what your ethnicity is. At the end of the day, like what your output is and the influence that you have on other people. You need to be cognizant of the whole thing. Whatever your cards are that you were dealt, you got to play your best hand and hope for the best. But yeah, sometimes it's hard.
Yeah,
it's hard. Good point.
We are in the thick of it. So I know that I'm free, but I mean, are you okay to keep going?
I have 15 minutes.
15.
Or somebody's gonna stretch me across time and space.
Yeah. All right. So, what you were saying before, that whole thing of being exploited, or even wanting to show up and show out. I feel like it's just a matter of pride. And that's to the sense to say, I mean, I can't call to mind exactly how many times you've beaten me in video games, or you've challenged me and say, oh, you're just gonna be a little punk, like you're not even gonna try. And it's like, oh, and then it's like, yo, my pride is on the line. Like, yo, if you don't do this, I'm gonna call you punk every day of your life. Like, yo, come on, I don't want to do it. But then, it's a matter of pride. You feel like you need to step up to that mark at the very least and try. So many people just give up before trying because they're afraid of failure. Oh, what if I don't succeed? So, well, what if you do?
Yeah, no. The point though, even if I'm the I don't know, the most powerful, opponent that you have, is that if you keep facing a powerful opponent, you get better, and then you make them bleed. Make them bleed. You saw 300. You saw 300, right?
Yeah, I saw 300.
Yeah, make Xerxes bleed. Let's go. Like, I've been there. I've been on the other side of it. Like, against Halo players, they're just like, oh man. I mean, in person. Look, when I was a university student, I gotta tell a quick story. A matter of pride. It wasn't a matter of pride. So, you gonna be a little punk, and ain't gonna play, huh? No, but I remember like they were on the other side of my wall. All right, in the next flat over. Dang. And I could just hear them just banging against the walls, just like, what are they doing in there? Like, okay, like, so I went and knocked on the door, like, hey, what are y'all playing? It's like, I'm playing Halo, we getting it done. Are you trying to play fodder? And I was like, oh,
fodder.
I'll show you who your father is. And I went in there.
Oh, like, gosh.
And they blew me away. They blew me away. I mean, I was just like, I was in the air. I was in the sky. And eventually I ended up with the nickname Bin Laden, because at the time it was like 2000, early 2000. Ain't nobody catch Bin Laden. And all he had was bombs. Like, he's sticking sticky grenades on people's heads and then just killing yourself. Basically, you get a suicide mission every time.
Oh gosh.
But somehow I became that dude. It was just like, yeah. I mean, once I made him bleed, and once I won, I was like, what? Like, these guys were beside themselves. So I mean, I know what it takes, and I've been on that other side of it, which is like, the point was to not let you give up, like that. There's somewhere inside where I think that, going back to that rite of passage, like someone made sure that I wasn't just going to be like a little punk, Or somewhere inside of me, like there's just this thing where it's just like you can't allow that to be. Like we're all in the same tribe. You have to test everybody by fire to make sure that, you know, what's left behind is it's a
pure.
value. Yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's the crucible.
Okay.
You know, and
Yes, definitely.
I think reading does that to you too. Like hearing these stories, like it puts something inside of you. It's just like, you know what, that's really important. Somewhere in the back of your mind, like I'm gonna make sure that I do that.
See, I don't know, because I would argue that argument does that, or you know, defending your thesis, whatever your thesis is in life. You know, you know, this has to be this way. So, well, why does that have to be this way? You know, why can't it be this way? Or, you know, I did it this way before you. You know, but to be able to defend your stance, to stand up to that fire, you know, whatever bombardment may come, to know that your stance is true. And I know that I've, even with some of the cousins after us, you know, after me, you know, our little cousins, you know, sometimes I ask them, like, well, why do you believe that? And it's very easy to get emotional at that point. They're just like, well, why are you coming at me like that? I'm just like, no, well, I don't understand your point of view. I want to know your point of view. I'm not saying that you're wrong. I just don't understand.
Yeah.
It's like, I just want to know how you got there.
Right. Use your words. Yeah. Use your words to explain. Right. Yeah. Like that needing to defend, though, to defend your position. That may be a feature of, you know, exceptional Americanism. That is one thing that I don't mind about our country. And I don't know if it's necessarily the case here, because these kids are just like either obedient or they're checked out. It's like, come on, like, what do you feel? Tell me why, you know? And they're just like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. What do you mean you don't know?
Just drifting through, going with the flow.
I don't know it. Yes, you're the teacher.
Just go this way.
You're the teacher. If you tell me to go, you tell me to walk, I'm gonna walk right off the cliff. It's like, oh, okay. Well, why don't you just walk your right off the cliff right now?
The Bible does tell us to be like sheep, and you know, sheep will follow each other to the slaughter. They are very not smart animals. You know, they follow their leader just vehemently, like this. Oh, you are the leader, we will follow. But I mean, there's a time for that, because Jesus does call us to be like sheep, but it also calls us to be as wise as serpents and as harmless as doves. You know, he's not trying to speak to what you were saying before, with the whole knowing how black you can be in situations. You know, he's not trying to neuter our minds. You know, he's not trying to take that away from us. He wants us to learn how to be in different situations. He wants us to be cunning when it's needed, but not to harm people with our minds. Not to be like, oh, well, you know, I'm just gonna make sure I get all of this merchandise at a fair, cheap price, and I'm gonna mark it up 500%, and I make sure. No, because that's not what we're called to do. We're called to be better for the world, not just as the world is.
Right. And that's why it's so important to just understand where he is, you know, see God as he is. You know, sometimes, I mean, he always has a fair scale. He makes it rain on the wicked and on the just, on the just, you know. Yeah. But I'd tell you, he made it rain on them Pharisees, though. He's light them up. Hey, come on, you more Jamaican than me. Come on, make that sound. Go ahead.
I don't think I can. I don't think I can.
I want to hear that. Yeah. Light him up.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
No, but,
I'm only a fourth Jamaican. A half Dominican.
Only a fourth. Oh, I'm 75%. So I mean, I guess
I'm 75% island and 100% Japan. You know, but hey,
you haven't done that DNA, that ancestry DNA?
You know, I found out something interesting recently. I got something called Duffy DNA. Yeah. I'm a member of the Duffy group. Yeah.
Duffy.
And this is you know, a spinoff of the conversation, I guess. But I donate blood to the Red Cross, and
Okay.
recently they sent me a notice saying that you have an extremely rare blood type. So it's whatever peptide, blah blah blah, Duffy group. And so I looked up the Duffy group, and apparently,
It's a Duffy.
it's this group of people, with a certain DNA from Western Africa that have an immunity to malaria, or actually, well, immunity,
Whoa.
an immune response to malaria. Like you can fight it off. If your body comes in contact with it instantly, it's just like antigen. Like, okay, we have something ready for that, and that's been in my blood.
That's crazy. Don't go swimming after floods though. Don't
I'm
try
good.
it. I mean,
I'm good. Good. But if you do, I can donate something to you. And blood only lasts 2 weeks, so yeah.
I mean, that'd be cool. I wouldn't mind that little immune response to that.
Yeah, there it is.
That's your card right there.
Special rare blood type. Yeah, it is what it is.
Duffy. No, because I got the ancestry DNA for me and my wife, and for those of you who don't know, my wife has red hair and freckles, and she is Mexican, and we thought that somewhere down the line she would be Irish. Not at all.
Somewhere up the line.
You know what I meant.
Yeah.
So it turns out that I'm 1% Irish and I'm 1% Swedish. Like, what? So and she's not at all. Like, she's actually has lineage from West Africa, as do I. Of course, the Jamaican came up, and a lot of indigenous Mexican, like Aztec, came up for her. So that's cool, to know that it's traced back there. But Western Africa, people from Jamaica will be like, oh yes, we are from Ghana, the Ashanti tribe, and they will claim that till they die. But it actually looks like my blood might have come from there. So there's that.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's it's
crazy to find out.
Was it expensive to find out?
I got it on a deal because I'm cheap and I try not to pay full price for anything.
They have deals.
I think when all was said and done, it was like $120 some odd.
That's not that bad.
Yeah, and that's 60 per, but I think that usually it's 90 per.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, 180 before shipping is kind of expensive.
Did you have to send blood?
No, you send saliva, and that's even worse in my opinion.
A lot of saliva?
Oh, it's any amount of saliva that's coming out of your mouth that you're not trying to extrude is too much. Because you're thinking about it like, oh gosh.
Yeah, but I mean, when I think about
salivating.
No. Think about something delicious, and it's just, I can get a stream
going. I guess. Yeah. Think about some good miso ramen.
Yep. No problem. Thinking about some okonomiyaki, takoyaki.
Stop! Because now I'm starting.
There you go. And now it's lunchtime. Yeah, I gotta get downstairs. Man. Yeah, lunch is
going, right?
Yeah, lunch is coming. Yeah, so I better.
All right, hold on. Let's see if we can get one more comment.
Yeah, talking that ramen.
Comment. All right, so we have from our listener. I advise any listeners to maybe change your names from your government, because we would love to put the comment up on YouTube. But if it's your government name, we're gonna try not to do that because we're not trying to oust you like that. So
unless you say specifically you have no problem with it, then hey.
Yeah, if you say like use my government comment, cool. I will put it up there and it'll be all right. So it says here, pride can be a toxic human feature if
Mm.
misused
Mm.
and overused.
Mm.
All right. So we have permission from Matthew Harris.
Oh, there you go. It looks like
Yeah.
a news feed. I like that.
So pride can be toxic. Pride can be a toxic human feature if misused and overused.
Mm.
And that's something that I think a lot of people, especially in church, because say like, oh, it's one of the cardinal sins. But
Mm.
if you take pride in your work,
Mm.
you know, I'm gonna
Oh.
flash the I give permission, because I don't want nobody coming after me. But if you take pride in your work,
Mm.
just so that it's not shoddy,
Mm.
that's a good type of pride. There's nothing wrong with that. But
Mm.
if you are thinking that you're the best thing since sliced bread just because you did this infinitesimal thing when it comes to the universe
Mm.
across time and space, cough, cough, then there's an issue.
Mm.
There's an
But
issue because you're not supposed to be thinking any higher of yourself than you ought to, and that's Paul who writes that.
and you should be doing all things, as though you're preparing it for the king, not for man.
Hmm.
But that being said, like, who thinks, okay, right before you're done, I'm doing this for God, so it's about to be perfect. No, I don't know anybody
Okay.
who does that. I don't know anybody who does that. They should. I mean, we should. And in that case, if we could just get in alignment like that, and just, once we complete something, the task is done. Like when I finish this number play, if I would just like offer it to God, like, whew, that was beautiful, Lord. Thank you. Thank you. I finished that in 10 minutes. And the next one I'm going to finish for you in 9 minutes and 50 seconds. If I was like that, that would be awesome. That would.
Yeah.
But you have to be the man that your wife respects, that she should respect. You have to be the father that your children should respect. In order to be that, you need to be in alignment with God. All right. Need to be in alignment, but you also need to make sure you do your due diligence and do your part. God can straighten you out, but then if you just all right and then going left and right, then you're not really, you're not doing the right thing.
You're still askew. You're not
Mm.
you're not focused. You're not fitting into your piece of the puzzle. It's not to say like, oh yeah, everybody has
Mm.
their own little. But that's the thing. If you have all the pieces to the puzzle, and you try to put in the last piece of the puzzle upside down,
Mm-hmm.
not gonna fit.
Yeah.
And it's like we all have a purpose. We all have something that we're supposed to do for the rest of the world. I'm
Mm.
not gonna jump in too deep because we need to get out of here. But thanks for joining us. Again,
Mm.
catch us on Anchor, catch us on Spotify. We're also going to try to get up on other podcast platforms.
Mm.
Just look for us, ATAS, ATAS, across time and space.
That's beautiful. That's all I got to hear, man. I'm happy. I want to listen to this on the way to work. I want to listen to this on the way back. I want to listen to this before going to bed, making the bread. I want to listen to this when I'm on my daily grind. Like that's what it's the point of this. All right, it's to give you some nuggets of wisdom to run with, and then hey, join the conversation. It's your boy TPC Japan, and
it's your boy Ace. Until next time, stay prayed up and be blessed.
because that's what it is. Peace.
Peace.